public servant and a fighter for her constituents, and she represents the American dream. And I know I and House Democrats are honored and proud to support her and to serve with her. Congresswoman Ilhan Omar has endured horrific attacks her entire time in public office, and we admire her courage. My motion requests documents on Corey Mills, a Republican from Florida. And I just want to note that this is not the best way of handling these types of issues. And we are introducing this only because this is being introduced on Representative Ilhan Omar. And so we are forced to make this motion and this amendment to Representative Nancy Mace's motion. And so with that, I conclude.
Gentlemen, this is not normal. A sitting member of Congress just pushed to subpoena Ilhan Omar's immigration records, and Washington instantly panicked. They scrambled. They interrupted. They tried to shut it down in real time. Why? Because the moment the word subpoena was spoken, the entire room exposed itself. If you want the truth they don't want discussed, hit like, subscribe, and share right now, because this hearing says everything about how power really works in Washington.
Mr. Garcia amended the Mace motion. Does any other member seek recognition?
I'd like to just comment on the motion.
Go ahead.
And then I can, if I can comment
I'll
on it
recognize Garcia, then Mace. Go ahead.
I just want to just begin by saying, broadly speaking, on the initial motion, Congresswoman Omar is a proud member of this body and an American, and as American as any member of this body. She is a public servant and a fighter for her constituents, and she represents the American dream. And I know I and House Democrats are honored and proud to support her and to serve with her. Congresswoman Ilhan Omar has endured horrific attacks her entire time in public office, and we admire her courage. My motion requests documents on Corey Mills, a Republican from Florida. And I just want to note that this is not the best way of handling these types of issues. And we are introducing this only because this is being introduced on Representative Ilhan Omar. And so we are forced to make this motion and this amendment to Representative Nancy Mace's motion. And so with that, I conclude.
Gentleman yields back. Now, Chair recognizes Ms. Mace to speak on the Garcia amendment to her motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I support Representative Garcia's amendment, and you beat me to it. I was going to do this on the House Armed Services Committee, and I'm a little jealous that you beat me to it. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. It is the best sunshine, and if there are individuals, I don't care about party, I don't care about affiliation, this needs to be we need to get to the bottom of it and what's going on. And quite frankly, I don't think someone that allegedly is doing arms deals should be sitting on the Foreign Affairs Committee or the House Armed Services Committee. And if this is what gets to the bottom of what's happening over there, then I support it and I support the amendment, and let's do it.
All right, you yield back. You yield to me. So I've had several members request information about trying to determine if Ms. Omar was involved in any of the Somali fraud and this and that. The thing that I've told people is the Ethics Committee is set up to do that. That's what the Ethics Committee's sole purpose is to investigate members. So we've got a motion by Mr. Garcia to amend Ms. Mace's motion. Both the amendment and the motion seek this committee to investigate sitting members of Congress. That's not something the Oversight Committee does, but we're a Democratic committee, and I'm not telling anybody in here how to vote. You vote however you want. But that's what the Ethics Committee role is. That's their jurisdiction. And I just wanted to state that. And again, look, I'm for whatever. I'm for transparency. You all vote the way you want. This committee's wired. You're going to vote the way you want anyway. I don't think the ranking member can tell his members how to vote, and I can't tell my members how to vote. I'm just telling you that's what the Ethics Committee's sole purpose in life is. So,
Mr. Chairman,
just stating that.
on a point of order.
Mr. Chairman.
Which one do we want to, Mr. Lynch?
Okay. Mr. Chairman, if I believe you're correct in your assessment that that is not something within our jurisdiction. That would mean that that motion would be out of order, not subject to a vote, and let's do this anyway, even though it's not within our jurisdiction. That's a jurisdiction of another committee, and we normally and regularly refer matters that are not within our jurisdiction to other committees, and that's how that should be handled, sir. That's my thought.
The previous chairman of the I'm going to respond to Mr. Lynch's inquiry. The previous chairwoman of the committee from New York, remind me, Maloney. She said the Oversight Committee has jurisdiction over anything and everything. And I kind of tend to believe that. But now the Ethics Committee has primary jurisdiction. There's no question about that. Now, do we have secondary jurisdiction? Possibly, probably, whatever. I'm not.
Mr. Chairman, under Rule 10, we have the ability. We have full oversight of the U.S. House of Representatives.
We can do pretty much what we want in this committee. But I just want to make it very clear, so we don't start going down this road, or this committee will just turn into, investigating other members, whoever's in control. That's what the Ethics Committee set up to do. I'm not. Look, Ms.
But
Mace,
if someone
you
beat
can
their
file any
wife
motion
and it
you
was
want,
covered
and Mr.
up, we
Garcia
should
can
find
file
out.
any
If
motion.
someone married their brother to commit immigration fraud, we should find out. That's what this committee can do.
I understand.
Let's not defame
girlfriend.
members of Congress. Mr. Chairman, I just want to add to you, I just want to agree, first of all. I think Oversight Democrats, we don't believe either of these motions should be discussed. This is not the place to be going after members in this way. If there's a concern about a member, it should be at the Ethics Committee. But if members on the majority are going to go after members in our caucus, we're going to do the same. And so if the Republican majority wants to remove this amendment or vote this amendment down completely, we would join you on that. But what we're not going to do is allow the attack on one of our members.
And I'm
Mr.
not
Chairman,
defending or opposing. I'm just saying that's what the Ethics
This is what we do up
Committee
here.
is supposed to
We
do.
just protect each other and protect our own, and nobody ever gets held accountable for anything up here. That's what this whole thing is BS.
It goes to the Ethics Committee.
Chair recognizes.
Which
Well,
then
we're
it dies
going
in
to
a black
vote on
hole.
this. Everybody's going to vote on this. We're going to vote on this because there's been a motion amendment. We're going to vote on the amendment and the motion. I'm just saying that's what the Ethics Committee is supposed to do. Chair recognizes Mr. Perry, what Ms. Mace is trying to do. I don't disagree with what Mr. Garcia is trying to do. And I don't know, I have no idea what the Ethics Committee is doing on either of these. But I think it's disappointing that Ms. Omar wasn't here for the Minnesota Somali hearing. I mean, that's something I think she should have attended. And I think Mills should, answer questions on the House floor. I think there are a lot of questions American people have for both of them. So I'm just saying, that's what the Ethics Committee.
Mr. Chair, did you just refer to it as a Somali hearing?
Mr. Chairman, as long as hold on, as long as
it was a hearing on Minnesota. I know, it was a hearing on Minnesota.
Somalians committed billions of dollars of fraud. It was a Somali hearing.
Somali fraud. There was Somali fraud. There were lots of Somali fraud allegations today.
Mr. Chairman, if we can continue our colloquy, you're the chairman of the committee, and you can make a ruling. Now, we might disagree with the ruling of the chair, but I would tell you it is my position and my recommendation, humbly and respectfully to the chair, that the chair should render this motion invalid. And if we want to challenge the ruling of the chair, then we can do that and have a vote on that. But I think this is of substance enough and import enough that we treat it with the gravity that Mr. Lynch and others have suggested, not only in this circumstance, feeling the same way you do, and in total honesty, quite honestly, the same way that Representative Mace does about whether this has been adjudicated appropriately or untimely or what have you. The point is this the place, is this the process to do those things? And I would agree with my colleagues on either side of the aisle that this is not the place to do what's being implied here in this motion. With that,
and to answer your question on ruling the chair, you asked the question, that was what Mr. Lynch started with. We can vote on whatever we want. In consulting with the parliamentarian, we can vote for this. We can do this. I'm just saying. That's what the ethics.
I understand,
Mr.
Mr.
So,
Chairman.
Chair recognizes Mr. Garcia. Then
Thank you. I think we may have. I understand. First, I want to also associate myself with the comments that were just made, and particularly with Representative Lynch. I think again, this is not the appropriate place for this, and we have filed the substitute motion because of the main motion that was filed. What I'd like to do at this time is I'm going to withdraw my motion and instead do a motion to table, the Mace motion. And if that motion does not pass successfully, then I will bring my substitute motion on Representative Mills back to the floor. But now we have an opportunity with this additional amendment. I'm withdrawing the Mills amendment, and my new motion amendment is to table the initial Mace motion. I hope everyone votes yes on that. think that solves the issues that a majority of us are trying to solve, and we can move on to the next item. And so that is the new motion.
So Mr. Garcia made a motion to table. That's not debatable.
Mr. Chairman, I do have a question.
It's not debatable, I'm sorry.
It's not- it's
But
not
state
about-
your request. You're a good
Yeah,
member.
I just have a question. And
Do it quick, because it's not debatable, but he will go ahead.
well, this is not about the motion to table. It's about, under the Ethics Committee, if they find evidence against a member, they can make recommendations for censure, for removal. If we were to conduct something like that here, what power does this committee have? Is it the same power as the Ethics Committee? I really agree with Mr. Perry, Mr. Lynch, that this might be a bridge too far. And if we're going to do this, then we need to know what the consequences are going forward for any other member who might, including a member of this committee, who might have issues raised. How far does this go?
Okay, all right.
Other than just, a public trial? I yield back.
All right. So all those in favor of the motion to table signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it, and the motion to table is agreed to. Is there any other business which needs to come before the committee?
What you just watched was pure Washington chaos, and it wasn't accidental. Congresswoman Nancy Mace introduced a motion to subpoena immigration records tied to Ilhan Omar. Not a verdict, not an accusation, a subpoena, a request for documents. That's it. And immediately the room exploded. Democrats rushed in to block it. Not with facts, not with evidence, but with procedure. Ethics Committee. Wrong jurisdiction. Dangerous precedent. Translation. Don't look. But here's the part they didn't expect. Congressman Garcia tried to flip the script. He amended the motion to subpoena Republican Corey Mills as well. Military records, business dealings, DOJ communications. And suddenly Nancy Mace said something shocking. She agreed. She said sunlight is the best disinfectant. She said party doesn't matter. She said if there's corruption, expose it. That's when leadership panicked even harder. The chairman tried to walk it back. Members warned this committee could spiral. They admitted out loud what Americans already know: Congress protects its own. Here's the key moment nobody can ignore. They openly acknowledge that any allegation can be investigated, but only if the political class allows it. That's not justice. That's a shield. They didn't debate the substance. They didn't deny the concerns. They voted to table it and move on. That tells you everything. This wasn't about Ilhan Omar. This wasn't about Corey Mills. This was about control. Who gets investigated, who gets protected, and who's untouchable. If you're tired of closed-door rules, selective accountability, and Congress circling the wagons like this video, subscribe to Capitol Truthline and share this everywhere.